Sammy, great to have you on, mate. It's been a long time coming. I know we've had plenty of twos and fros to make this happen, but I'm grateful to have you on, mate.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and you just got to wait. There's always a moment in time, and this is that moment. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I love what you do, and it's an absolute pleasure, to be honest.
Mate, right back at you, man. I've been following you. We've got some mutual friends, but I've just been following your journey, mate, and what you're doing is very, very inspiring, and how you're going about it and the energy that you bring is contagious. It's infectious in a good way, and it's definitely catching on.
Oh, absolutely.
You founded Better Than Before. Talk us through it, man. How did it come about? I know I was reading, I watch a lot of your TikToks, or not TikTok specifically, but I see your TikTok videos on Instagram. You do some cool shit, man. Sure. The one that grabbed me was when you gave, like, you love giving a moment to people, and you gave that young fella the jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I guess I'll start from the start, but for me, towards the end of last year, I sort of reflected, and I was doing pretty well. I was working for Under Armour at the time. Before that, I was at Red Bull. I'd worked for these amazing brands. I knew what good culture was, and I was someone that loves a shandy, or loves more than one. But yeah, and I've always had this self-belief in myself, but I reflected, and I kind of was like, well, are you giving it everything every day? Like, are you truly happy with the decisions you're making? And as I reflected, I was like, I'm actually not. I'm not happy with waking up hungover, and I'm 31 now. It takes me 4 or 5 days to bounce back. So it's it's tough, and I've got like alcoholics in the family and things like that as well. And I just wanted to set a standard. I've always kind of been that guy that like pulls the lads together, or females too, but just and so I wanted more for myself. I was like, you can do more, you can give more, you could be more. And so then that I just started reflecting on myself. And so first thing was, my son was due on the 14th of January, and that was obviously a game changer. I wanted to set a standard for that. So I was kind of like, I'm going to commit to no alcohol for 12 months. I got to the stage where it was normally just sort of once, you do a month or something like that, and then be straight back into it. I wasn't like a heavy drinker during the week, but it's just, binge drinking and just smashing into it. So yeah, he was born. I started on that journey, and I was just finding that because I'd picked up meditation as well, and that had changed the game for me, and just understanding thoughts, emotions, feelings, and building these tools to cope, or have coping mechanisms and things like that. And so then from there, all these wonderful things were happening, like just the people I was meeting, the opportunities that were presenting themselves. And so I got to a stage, and I'd already made a conscious decision that was it for me, for my drinking, because I wanted to, if this is happening with me committing to this, why would I want anything else? Because this is what, I'm being truthful for myself every day. I'm not perfect, but every day I'm taking a step forward and that sort of thing. So got to about March, and I was just loving life, like it was a vibe. And then I was like, I've always wanted my own team or own environment. I toyed with the idea of doing apparel and stuff in the past, and although self-belief is one of my strengths, at times you just think, I can't do it. It's just instilled in the human. And then so my mate, this is no disrespect to him, but he just started his own brand and started putting things on t-shirts, and that just made me realise, I was like, what, I can start my own brand, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reflect, what am I most passionate about? Who am I as a person? I feel as though I'm somebody that's caring, compassionate, that just wants to bring people together in a positive manner. I've always liked to challenge myself, and I probably haven't challenged myself as much as what I'd like to. I've probably taken it easy out sometimes, and so then, Better Than Before was born. And I've always wanted to be a business owner and such, so it's actually registered as a business. But, you feel entitled, and you think, this thing's just going to fall out of the sky and you're going to become a business owner. So I was just like, what? This is the start of that journey. I'm going to register a business. I don't know what it is. Then Better Than Before was born. And then from there, I was like, okay, you need an identity. I want something I can stand beside, that I'm proud to look at, that drives me to be better every single day, that other people can pick up. Because although I want to be, put myself as a part of the brand, I wanted it to be have something else to identify, so that if I did want to start apparel and things like that, people could have something to wear. And I wanted it to be something that they could wear, but also as a tool that could change their life, B, somebody else's life, and C, my life. You know, it's a tool. And through meditation, I learned to draw a star at my desk. And, you know, if I was getting caught up in my thoughts and emotions, I'd look at that star and just Sam, take a deep breath. Or, you know, you see that star, it's like, I'm not giving 100%, give more. So I want to make a tool. And a lot of brands out there, they just, you know, it's a dope brand, it's a cool brand, but how about a brand that's going to, yeah, like I say, change so many lives along the way? That's kind of digressing a little bit anyway. But so I thought, just rolling with the punches. So yeah, how it was born, or the logo was born, is I started playing with the BTB, having a look what was out there, and then I was playing around on Snapchat and just pulled it all together, and I was like, it's a butterfly. And I was like, as soon as I realised, I was like, that's it, because obviously a butterfly goes through a huge journey to find its final form, and then it turns into this beautiful creature. And that's kind of where I sort of felt I was in my life. And, you know, some people probably don't think I'm credible because it's still early on, but this is it for me now, and there's no turning back. When people are telling me, you know, even off a small base, I'm changing their lives, I'm saving their lives and things like that, which is just a byproduct of me trying to be the best of me. Like, that's, yeah, it's amazing. And some people still probably don't believe, and I've heard the odd rumour, as you do, but I'm just so stoked with where I'm at mentally that it just doesn't impact me. People are going to see life through a different lens, and I'm respectful of that, and I'm grateful for that. Yes, it does empower me to give more, to do more, so I can, you know, push harder. But I'm at peace with it. You can't please everyone. And I was talking to someone about that today. Is I've always been someone that does want to please everyone, and through previous roles and things like that in sales, I soon found that, yeah, no matter what you do, you can bend over as much as you want, but you know, someone's still going to want to ram you, you know.
100%.
You know, and that's just kind of where I'm at now. So we're sort of 6 months deep on the journey. Instagram's tough to grow on, so I'm grinding hard to, you know, and still just figuring it out as I go every day, just looking at, you know, how to market better or how to get more reach and things like that. And because I love it so much, it's something that I want to do. And then through this journey, I've picked up a sponsorship in NLP, so I can go into coaching and things like that. And so I still don't know exactly what this thing is, but it's just going to figure it out. And what I want to do is continue to open myself up. I mean, I can't get enough content out there as it is at the moment, but I want to continue to open up on the journey and just, yeah, there's so much that I can show people that are going to help them through the tools that I'm learning. I want to be speaking, I want to be networking with other people so that I can learn and just continue to mould myself into something special, and then, you know, and help as many people as I possibly can. So I set the mission to impact 1 million, and when I hit that 1 million, we're off to 1 billion. So, you know, and at the end of the day, I've always been taught you shoot for the moon, you land in the stars. And, you know, if worst case scenario, you know, you hit 250,000 people, do you think that I'm really going to be upset that I've impacted that many lives in my time and I'm in the best mental and physical shape of my life? Absolutely not. So
game changer,
yeah.
mate. I couldn't agree more, man. And I can resonate with your story so much, man, because I've been at like 2014 to sort of 2017 was that period where people were talking about me. And in looking back, I'm like, the fact that people actually start talking about you because you're trying to better your life and better other people's life is a good thing. But I remember when I was going through it, I was like, can't believe even my mates were making Facebook posts about me and criticizing me, and people were like, nah, he's a fraud, he can't do this. This is what he was doing 6 months ago, and now he's trying to be someone better. I'm like, well, how does anyone change then? You got to start somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. I truly believe that, like, and that's what I've been preaching on some of my life. Well, not preaching, but just telling people, like, I'll go on and just do a live workout because I'm in lockdown right now, and it's like, you know, this could add value because I just want to add value to as many people as I possibly can. So I'm going to work out here. I'm stuck in these 4 walls. Let's just do this workout. And then I'm just saying, you know, this could be your time and your moment. There is a time and a moment where just everything clicks, and moving forward from there, it's not going to be perfect. But just think about that. And, you know, you've got to turn that page. Like, and for me too, I had no social media. I used to have it. I took about 4 years off. I thought it was, you know, it wasn't good for me. It was just a waste of time. And so I was going through that, and then when I was like, I want to impact lives, I want to impact lives at scale. You know, I live in a country of 5 million people at the other end of the earth. I want to be able to touch the other side of the world, you know, and social media, if you use it for the right things, and I still find myself scrolling and things like that, but it's more like research based now, and if I do get caught up because I'm so much more aware, I'm like, Sam, what are you up to? You're sitting here just looking at shit that is not going to help you move forward. So just awareness is such a key, and like I say, you can't please everyone. And, you know, there is a time and a place where you're going to have that aha moment and shit just clicks.
100%. And that's the whole thing, right? The million people that you're going to impact are going to be people that resonate with you and your message and how you go about doing it. Just like the people that I impact, some people think I'm a full-on flog, which is fine. But then other people like, you're wicked, mate. Like, I really resonate with how you talk.
I just say it. Yeah, I'm a flog, but I'm flogging way harder than you are.
100%.
You know, like, and that's the thing, like I say, everyone, there's always someone that's got to say something. But now, yeah, I'm so empowered. I'm just like, thank you so much. You know, my name's in your mouth. I'm respect, you know, how you see the world. And, you know, if you want to go out of your way, and now through my learning, and as you know too, you know, generally people that are like that will have something to say to a complete stranger that they know nothing about. There's other issues going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's a reflection of what's there going on for themselves, right? Like, just the hatred, and that's where it's like, for me, that, as you were saying, it like drives you more, right? It empowers you to work harder, because if you can get your message to click for them, then that's a life that's really worthwhile to, you know, obviously every life is worthwhile, but they're the ones that I'm like, I really want to have an impact on that person, because otherwise they're going to be a miserable bastard for the next
absolutely.
X amount
and
of
that's
years.
in the back of my mind. I'm like, that's why I'm just going to keep pumping out content, and I just hope there's a time and a place, and some people, and it probably will happen. No, it will happen. Like, I'll pump something out and they'll watch it and they might not believe in me, but they're like, damn it, he's given me something that I can actually use, or I can actually implement that into my life, and yeah, I might use that. So you might not like me as a person, but what I'm putting out there, I've still made, you know, subconscious impact, or, you know, you might take something away and go and implement it in your life. You've never actually thought of it, but it's because of what I've said that you've gone and done that.
100%.
So it's just a challenge, you know. I'm a competitive bugger too. I love to win, and it's just like it's my game. Like, this is a game to me now. You know, some people might not respect that, but for me, it's just like, you know, if I've got to knock on 1 million doors to put myself out of my comfort zone, and things like that. Like at the start, I was at the supermarket and my heart was pumping. I turned around, there's 2 people on their phones beside me. Sales is my background. I believe in myself the most, and I was like, I'm going to turn around and say, hey guys, my name's Sam. I've just started this brand. It's called Better Than Before. I'm trying to impact 1 million lives. Does that sound something like, you know, you could go check out? And they both turn around like, yeah, you know, how do we follow you? So it just shows you, you know, you put yourself out of your comfort zone. And to me, that's a strike rate of 100% right there, you know. And who knows, like, one of those person could be a rich lister or anything and turn around and say, fuck, I love what you're doing. Here's 100 grand to make it happen. Yeah. You know, that's obviously some pretty far-fetched stuff, but you just don't know what's could potentially happen by meeting someone new, putting yourself out of your comfort zone. For me, there's wonderful things happening already, and yeah, I just tell anyone to go out of their way to put themselves out of their comfort zone, to just say hello to someone or ask, you know, how's your day going, and things like that. The more people you know, the more opportunities that are going to create, and just be genuine about it, you know. Don't try and change who you are to please anybody else. Just be who you are, be natural.
Man, I couldn't agree more. It's even just like talking on coaching, because obviously it's one of the fastest growing spaces, and people are, you know, when people have those moments that you were speaking about before, we feel empowered to want to help other people have those moments as well, because it's no secret that, you know, mental health and mental illness is at an all-time high for people. And the fact that we know we have had these moments that have transformed our life, that we're like, fuck, I want to tell everyone else about it. It's like, it's a game. I'm playing a game every day, because I'm like, what kind of content? How can I grow engagement? Absolutely. Who can I help? What questions can I learn about? And I'm like, fuck, this not enough time in the day. But then you get out there and get after it. And as your brand grows, and as the Man That Can project's grown, it's like, it's so incredible to see. For we've been on this journey not specifically the Man at Camp project, but for myself, 7, nearly 8 years. And I've had people come back after 6 years to be like, oh, I just needed to see you were actually committed to it, or it's cool to see how far you've come or how much you've grown. I'm like, well, I was never in doubt because I believe in the process and I believe in myself. And whether
I know for a fact it's working.
Yeah.
Like with my mate, my friend Hayden, that's how I came across your page, was Hayden, and
he's a legend.
Man, the journey that he's been going on, like I wouldn't, from how I knew him, he's been a caring, compassionate sort of guy. But like I'm even like feeling excited from right now just talking about it. Like the guy is on fire. Like he still doesn't have quite that enough belief in what he's actually doing. Like the amount of shit he's putting on his plate to just continuously move forward. It's like it blows my mind. Like, and someone like that, he's been saying to me, oh, like I admire what you're doing. You're 2 steps ahead of me. I'm like, bro, you don't need to look at it like that. You're exactly where I'm at right now. I'm just doing things a little bit differently. Like, he is an assassin, and it's so cool to see that, like, that people can just remold just like that. He's decided to make a change, and he's doing all these wonderful things. Like, when he sent me a video the other day, and he'd gone a month sober, and he was literally breaking down in tears. Like, that shit to me, seeing a grown man cry, like, I'm fucking proud of him, and setting a standard to show people that it's okay, like if you're proud of who you are, stand up and talk about it. Like, like not enough people do that. Like, and that's what I want to instill in people. Like, who cares what anyone else thinks? If you're proud, tell someone you're proud of it. That's going to inspire somebody else. And I'm still learning, I guess, how to communicate and who I am. And already through this, I can feel I'm becoming stronger, and my belief is growing, and I'm being more naturally me, whereas at the start, like, you go look at one of my first videos, like, I'm just like, I can't blink, It's just reflecting on it. I went back the other day and I was just like, Jesus, in 6 months' time, you've come so far. It's such a great thing. And now, the likes of Hayes, and now he's going out. So indirectly, you've impacted his life. He's stood up. Now he's going out and making impact. To me, I see that as that you're making impact through him as well, and although he can claim it for him too, but it's just a vibe. Everyone should just help each other out. And, if we've all got goals and aspirations, it doesn't mean that, we need to be butting heads. Like, let's just help out as many people as I possibly can to get all what we want, rather than, only one person. And too many people think that, they need to be, like, in a private jet, driving a Lamborghini and things. Don't get me wrong, if they're your goals, you should have huge, audacious goals, and if they're materialistic, that's entirely up to you. But, as long as, like, you could literally live your dream by just making sure the mortgage is paid and doing what you love every single day, and that's what I'm working towards right now. The biggest thing in my life is, potentially doing something for myself, so I can get up, go to the gym on my terms. I can make sure that the nutrition's on point. I can read books. I can, and then just jump on here, do things like this, meet new people. That is the dream for me, and something that I'm working towards.
Bro, it's going to happen, because that's the coolest things that you've said, and it even goes for Hayes as well, right? Like, so many people have the self-doubt, and even, you said you were confident, you had belief, but it was still like, I don't think that's possible. And it's like, anything's fucking possible. The fact that we can jump on YouTube, or we can listen to podcasts like this and learn from other people, and there's no reason why anyone should not have money, be healthy, have great relationships, all that.
Absolutely.
The content and the information's there. The how-tos are there. We just need to work on this shit. And that's why, like, what you're doing, how you're actually sharing your journey, and what I'm doing is sharing the emotional stuff that goes with it. This is how I felt. Yep. This is what I thought about myself at this period in time, and this is what I needed to change, and this is how I did it. And some people can resonate and relate to that, and others can't. But the people who can are like, sick. I've now got the playbook, and I now can also be prepared for what I'm about to potentially experience. And not everyone's journey is the same, but that's what we need to. More people need to be talking. And like, you even look at Hayes, man. Like, when I was first talking to him, like, he just is such an incredible guy. Like, he picked that off straight away. And he one of the people remain stuck because of their lack of resourcefulness. He hit me up straight away. He's like, can I just figure out a payment plan? I was like, fuck, mate, you're the first person to ever ask that on this specific thing.
Thinking in solutions, you know?
Yeah. And then he's gone on to do that. Now he's doing Toastmasters and doing things with you, and he's doing all these incredible things. And as you said, he's got a lot on his plate, but he's hungry for it. People are like, when the time's right, I'll do it. It's like, make the time right if you really want it.
The time is now, you know? And that's the thing, like, reflecting now, like, I could literally, if everything got taken away from me right now, I could say that I gave it everything. There'd not be a regret in my life. I gave it a crack, you know, and no one can ever take that away from me. I gave it a crack. I was telling people what I was doing, and I went out there and stood up, and you know, someone reached out to me tonight, and they're like, "What is better than before?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I can understand. That's a great question, and the last thing I want is not people to not know what it is, you know." So, well, at this stage, it's pretty much just it's a brand, because I didn't want myself front and center. I wanted, like I said, that alignment, something a tool for people to help push on through. And you know, at this stage, it's just it's a community or an environment to facilitate positive change. That's what Better Than Before is all about. So it's holding me accountable. You know, I'm out there doing it, and whoever wants, you know, may be struggling. And I don't want it to be just about the struggle. Like, some of the people I've been talking to are hugely successful in business, and I'm like, I want you to be a part of this. Get on board, because through that collaboration and whatnot, you know, if someone's going through something, your average Joe or everyone's got a story to tell. Everyone's been through something. Everyone can learn from somebody. You don't have to be credible or someone, you know, that has 100,000 or 100 million followers to have anything decent to say that somebody can't take it away from. And that's what I want to do, is talk to anyone that's, you know, got a story. And if you dig deep enough, everyone's got an epic story or twists, turns. You know, it's amazing when you dig deep. And what I'm finding now too is, like, by having conversations with people, you have this initial conversation, and then the next thing, like one guy I was talking to, he owns a business in Aussie, Kings of Neon. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Nah.
His name's Steve, awesome guy. Yeah, it's epic neon shop, and we've just been collaborating. He saw that I was doing 75 hard. He's come across my desk, and you know, we've been just going back and forward and just vibing with each other, and with what we're going through. And you know, he's set up all sorts of e-commerce businesses and things like that. So, you know, just meeting these people that just want to come in and, like, help out, have a chat. I spoke to another guy the other day who owns a very big boat building business in Hamilton here in New Zealand, and like, he's been through leadership courses and won, like, emerging leader in his, like, region, and he's like, I'm, you know, helping him change his life because he's chucked the bottle down and he's challenged himself for 30 days and things. And then he's coming to me saying, "Oh, Sam, these are, you know, the leadership qualities that I've learned, and these are some of the tools I've learned." Because the collaboration is just outstanding. And, like, you know, even for me, like, this is, I've been super pumped for this. It's just another, you know, key pillar for me to continue to move forward. Like, we've been chatting behind the scenes that I want to get my own podcasting done and things like that. So it just helps me become more confident and, you know, how to have a conversation. And as you can probably see, it's hard to keep me quiet.
Mate, you're absolutely killing it. I'm just going to take 1 minute pause, and I've taken a few notes from where I want to go with this. Just got to let the missus in.
Sweet.
1 sec.
No worries.
So, bro, we're
All
on.
good, brother. Sweet.
But yeah, it's even when you're talking about where the brand's going to go, I think so many people get stuck getting ready to get ready, right? They won't take action because they're like, I need to know where it's going to go. And 9 times out of 10...
I'm definitely not that person. I tell you that for free. I'll tell you what, if anyone knows anything about structures and wants to get in touch that listens to this, get in contact. I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, there's so much going on, but I'm not worried. You know, it'll figure itself out, and I'll become that strategy. You know, will become more strategic as I go, and you just got to start. like you say.
It's that ready, aim, what's it, ready, fire, aim approach. It's the same as me, mate. I've always just been like so action orientated, and I'm always like, okay, what's the next step? And for most people, if you don't know, same with figuring out who you are as an individual. If you don't know, just start doing things, and you're going to get feedback around, yep, I enjoy that, or I don't enjoy that. Yep, that person's cool, they're not. And you utilize that feedback, take it on board, reflect upon it, and go, cool, I want to find more people like that, or I want to do more of that. But so many of us are like, fuck, maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll know who I am. It's like, not fucking happening, man. Do shit.
That's it. And I think too, also, it's like even through my meditation and my awareness, like some days I will be more aware, and like I'll go through it. I only do it 10 minutes a day. That's, you know, gets me through. I'm challenging myself to do 365 because I haven't done that before. So it's just one of my critical tasks that I'm trying to get through. But the awareness is still there anyway. But it's just like some days you take it away, and you know you'll implement what I've learned, because I like to do guided stuff through Headspace. I tried that unguided, and I can do that too. But for some reason, I've just picked that up and just continue to run with that, because I like the modules, and like I did one on binge eating, because that's one thing that I needed to get on top of. Because now I've got no alcohol and stuff, I'm just like, food, you know, and a way to a man's heart is through food. So if there's any females that pick this up, just to help out there. But yeah, it's... Oh, now I'm getting lost now.
That's all good. One more minute. I let my missus up the elevator, but I didn't unlock the front door. Sorry. But I know where we're going with this.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. We are back on track. But even from like the meditation, like you set yourself the goal for 365 days. I think the most I've done is 130 odd days or something like that. And it's one of those things that you don't really notice if you miss it. But when you start continuing to do it, your life and your awareness and understanding around things just skyrockets, right? It's like the plane taking off. But for you, how did you come across it? Like what inspired you to make it?
I just needed to, like, I guess I love sport and things like that, and it's hugely passionate. And you know, if you truly reflect, and it was something that, you know, probably a lot, well, you know, maybe 5-10 years ago, it was still like that really fruity thing, like weird, you know. Then I guess through people, like I love someone like LeBron James and just what he does, you know, off the court, and anyone that's at the top of their game. You talk to them, what do? They train their mind in some way, shape, or form. Guaranteed, you know. And everyone's different, what works for them, what doesn't, you know, whether visualization, meditation, you know, even like going to the gym. To me, that's a form of meditation, because my mind is just focused on that one thing and is not all over the show. You know, the tunes are on, getting stuck into it. So, yeah, it was like, I'm just going to try this, see what happens. And then, you know, I keep just pushing myself. And it was just, some people say that it doesn't work for them. That's why I'd just say to anyone out there, if that doesn't work for you, go and find what does work for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I picked up the book, got about X amount of the way through, fell off for a wee bit, and then coming into deciding to go sober for the 12 months and stuff, I was like, shit, I'm going to need tools. I'm going to continue to do this. And then, yeah, it started just falling into place. I wouldn't go more than 2 or 3 days without it now.
Yep.
And it was actually, I was listening to one of your podcasts or a piece of content, and you sort of touched on, because I'm one of those people that's all in or all out, and like, you know, you miss one day and I get real pissed off, and you were just kind of like, oh, you know, I don't actually do it every day now, and things like that. And I was like, well, you know, I'm still getting something out of it. Don't get, you know, beat yourself up. You're still doing great things. Yeah. You know, so just use it as a tool, and if for some reason you don't get to it, you know, say why, you know, have a look, reflect again, or maybe I didn't write it down or whatever it is. But now, you know, listening to the likes of Andy Frisella and stuff like that with his 5 critical tasks, that's something that I've just implemented. I think it's important to me. It just gives me that clarity and things like that. And yeah, it's an ever evolving thing as well. You're always learning, and that's what I was sort of touching on where I got lost before about that, you know, awareness. Like some days I'll sit there, I'll do it, and then I'm more aware, like with my eating, I will take it on board and, you know, just look at the foods and, the colours and things like that before I start eating and becoming more mindful, thinking of what does this taste like, all that sort of thing. And then sometimes I'm still just like,
holding it down.
I didn't, I didn't do what I've just gone and done. But through that, I've still noticed through the reflection too, is that I'm becoming, every day I'm a little bit more aware in other aspects or whatever it may be and things like that as well. And that's the thing, I still know I'm moving forward, and it's not just one of those things that happens overnight and then all of a sudden you're absolutely perfect, that you're aware of every single decision that you're making. There's still a lot going on up here, but it's just, it helps you, it helps that awareness, and like I say, every day I'm taking a little step further forward, and so I'm more conscious of, my emotions and things, and you're a very powerful person when you can start understanding, how you're feeling, and that it's just the feeling. Like if Sam's angry, what does it feel like? My heart's like getting crunched, or I'm all foggy up here. I'm making stupid decisions, so that I know, okay, Sam's starting to get angry here. I still get pissed off, and but it's like if I can pick up on those, and even 50% of the time, 20% of the time, I start to react differently further on down that track. It's going to be 80% of the time. I'm less reactive and things like that at the same time too. And that's how it's really helped me out, and why I've stuck with it for so long. And just with the likes of Headspace, you go in there, you identify your problem like I did through my eating. I'm already sort of down 15 kilos for the year, but I'm still not happy. Yeah,
mate. So, well done.
Yeah, I sort of held my rig I thought I did. It wasn't that great. And I'm still not where I want to be. So heading into my 12 months of sobriety, I might as well put it out there, because it's another accountability check. But for the next 3 months, I'm committing to getting to my 12 months of sobriety on the 24th. And I'm already in the best shape, but I want to be in what I feel as though what I've set out to achieve at the start of the year. So
when's your 12 months up?
24th of December.
Ooh, are you thinking you'll have another beer, or are you going to just keep going?
No, that's it for me. As soon as I've started this platform now, the last thing I can do is, it's that credible thing. It's like, for me, I reflected, and it was like, if I have one beer for me, does that take 2 minutes away from this? Or, and it does, and it's not, I don't want to run that risk, like one beer, then it goes to 2 beers, and then it's like, I'm X amount deep, and I'm waking up and I've might have pissed my pants or something.
We've all done that.
It's just not worth. Yeah, absolutely. So I wasn't like that every single time. There was just sometimes that would happen. But I want to be in full control every day. I want to be able to get up and say every single day I emptied the tank, and the tank was full of energy. Putting the right fuels in my body and things like that, and that's. I get a little bit upset with the foods now, because I realise when I don't do it, I just feel like crap, like I'm sick, my body's just not functioning well, and I know what it feels like when you've been doing it for a certain amount of time, say 3 to 6 months, where you're just executing for a certain period of time, how empowered you feel, how good you feel, how productive you are, and then it all just flow on.
Yeah, the power of taking alcohol out. I'm doing 12 months for next year. The most I've done is probably, I think it's 3 months. I normally start the year like that. And it's about the 10-week mark where my memory and my focus are just buzzing. It's a whole nother level. And
it takes time.
I've got a few clients who've done, one of my clients is nearly on 2. I think he's just cracked 2 years. And he loved the fucking everything that was going along with partying and everything like that.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I've had a few throwdowns. That's for sure. And it wasn't just that. It was drugs, alcohol, the whole lot. And for me, I still enjoy it. I could still go punch, smack, grab a pack of darts, smash a pack of darts, go and just get absolutely smashed and do like a 2-day bender. But for me now, it's just like, no, I've got to set a standard. That's not me living the best version of myself.
Yep.
And I choose not to. It's not that I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. It's good fun, but I choose not to.
Do you feel like you would be able to have one beer and stop? I don't know, before there's that all or nothing where it's like one beer, and a lot of blokes are like that, where they have one and the next minute you're 10 deep and you're doing shit you shouldn't be doing. But do you feel like you'd have now the mindset and control and the discipline to just have one beer and...
I probably would, but it's still, if there's a 1% risk that it jeopardizes me as a person, that it jeopardizes my family, that it jeopardizes my brand that I'm building, not worth it. Absolutely.
Awesome.
So, and even the fact like that one beer, if I can help one person out because they're like, shit, he didn't go back to the beers or anything like that. For me, it's just not worth it anymore. And like I said, like how I feel without it, because I'd get to that stage where I just want to get written off. Like I just enjoy it, and then you regret mode and waking up. And that's the thing, so many people walk past the mirror and don't own up. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but it's a very, very empowering thing when you look yourself in the eye and tell yourself, nah, fuck it, I'm over this. I'm done with this. This is not who I am. And too many people just don't do that. Like they just continue to think that they're happy. They go to work, they come home, and people reach out to me and they're like, I'm not happy. Well, what are you doing about it?
Yeah.
Nothing.
And some people... People don't like the tough love and don't like being called out. They get offended or they get upset, and you're like, well, don't come fucking over here and say you're not happy and you're not doing anything about it, because talking about it doesn't change anything. It may make you feel a little bit better for that short moment in time, but tomorrow you're still going to wake up in the same shitstorm you're currently avoiding. So
absolutely,
you've got to take action on it. When you said before, like with Andy Frisella's 5 critical steps, like can you talk us through give me a bit of a rundown on what the 5 critical steps, I guess, theories or processes is and what yours are? You don't have to give all yours away.
Basically, the more value I add, or whatever works for somebody else, that's what it's all about. But basically, it was just like I'm the sort of person that, and it was working for me, and I still do a lot. But it was just like I always used to write a list down every day. It'll be on my phone or write it down. I'd just try to tick the list off. And then through listening to him, going through that journey, and I was like, I'd never achieve everything. And it's in your mind, like, if you're not achieving anything, you feel worthless, you feel like you're not good enough. But when you reflect, like, I was at the stage still where I was like, I am still getting enough done. But then, reflection, I'm actually still progressing. I'm still getting a lot done, but I could do a lot more. And so I've only actually picked up the critical tasks in the last probably... I'd say the last month, because I just need it to get these 5 done, whatever you do, else you do as a bonus. And I'm still learning. Like the last few days, I haven't got everything done on those critical tasks. There's been a lot more going on, but now I'm still aware that I'm not focusing on the things that need to get done. So through that, I've been reflecting. I'll make sure that I get it done today, and then... if you just focus on like even 3 things, 3, 5, it doesn't matter, whatever works for you. Just focus on those things that are going to really help you drive to move forward. And then he's kind of like, after that, you just do what he does, whatever he wants for the day after that. Once those 5 tasks are done, he's just like, if I want to go smack a golf ball or whatever. But chances are he probably wouldn't, because he's that type of guy that's got to be doing something to help, the greater good of him moving forward in his life. But if you get those 5 things rather than having a list of 50 things and then being like, well, I achieved 2 today, well, it's because you've got so much going on. I just try to dial it down a bit. So it was a good learning for me, and I've actually really enjoyed it. So I've started just instead of writing it down on my phone, I've started literally sort of journaling it a lot more. And it seems to be working a lot better for me.
That's epic, man. That's so cool, and some powerful tips and advice. I personally focus on 3. I reckon I'd bloody freak out with 5, but as you were saying, like each to their own, and do what works for the individual. And I think, health for me, and I just believe that it needs to be a priority and a value for every fucking person that has a heartbeat, because if you neglect that, it's what creates a ripple effect for other areas of your life falling apart, whether it's your mental health, relationships, your confidence, your ability to have energy to keep up. You got to... When was your child born? In March, did you say?
January.
January. So 6, what are we now? We're flying through the year. 9 months old.
8 months.
That's like flying, mate. You're now being the best version of yourself. That's pretty fucking cool.
And the cool thing about it is I'm still not satisfied. I'm still not happy. Like, well, I'm happy, but I'm not happy. Like, I'm like, I could have done more. And that's just that when you find that one thing in your life, when you find what your why is and what you want more than anything else, every single day, you'll be consistently trying to move forward. And it's not about taking I'm not telling you to go and climb Mount Everest. If that thing for you is when you wake up in the morning and you make a coffee, and that gives you, if that's what empowers you, if that's what lays that foundation or that brick, then that's what it is. That's absolutely fine. Like, and then as you start to progress, those things that you start doing are going to be, far more impactful every single day.
Yeah, I love when you say you're not satisfied, but you're happy or you're content, right? Because I think, people can often perceive it's like, well, if I'm never going to be content or happy, what am I doing? Like, it's a never-ending journey. It's like, well, it is, man. Like, if you're not growing, you're dying. Like, so what in your life do you need to improve upon? Because as you said so well, is whether it's learning how to make more money, learning how to communicate better, learning how to be a better dad, or learning how to use Instagram, like, there's always something we can improve. But it's
what pisses me off too is, like, you touch on money, like, it's instilled in us that people think, oh, I'm greedy. And it's like, you're not greedy. If that's what you want, go and get it.
Get it, man.
No one has a right to tell you that is right or wrong, other than yourself. If you and yourself think that's wrong, then absolutely, because that's what your belief is. But no one has the right to tell you what you see or what you feel fit for you is what you want. Like, you want to see my vision board. It's materialistic. And, like, one of my goals this year was to get tattooed once, right? So I love my tattoos, and it's expensive, having a mortgage. So I was like, you know what, I just want to get tattooed once. Yes, it's materialistic, but this is my goal. So I've already had 2 sittings. I'm booked in for another 2. So I've exceeded that by, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And it's just because I've written it down. I've put, the why do I want it in place and things like that. And, if you've got materialistic goals and things, don't think that you're greedy. It's entirely up to you. Put down what you want out of your life and just go for it. Commit to it. And I guarantee you'll come out the other side better than before.
Fucking perfect. That was great segue. I think it's, you got to own who you are and what you want. And it's okay. Like, even I've still got vision boards over behind the computer here from 4 or 5 years ago. And, like, I still have materialistic things, first class plane flights, this big property, the Mercedes Benz that I want. And I think we need intrinsic and also extrinsic motivators. Because it's like, intrinsically, I'm so content and happy with my growth. And you think, I'm like you when I watch my YouTube videos or whatever from 6-7 years ago, and I'm like, oh, completely different fella. But awesome, that motivates me. It makes me hungrier to show other people. And even talking to you, I'm so inspired by your journey and the enthusiasm and passion that, comes with it. And I'm like, it makes me hungrier to work harder. And that's why, as we've said, you want to collaborate with people and you can go further together, which is the brilliant thing. But then I also like the idea of being able to have nice things. Money doesn't worry me, and I'm okay to talk about that because I work hard for it, as do you. Like,
absolutely.
And if you put the work in, fucking acknowledge it, because you can then teach other people what needs to happen in order to be able to do those things. You've got to be proud of who you are and proud of the work that you put in, because otherwise it's like, well, if I feel bad about talking about the things that I've achieved, well, eventually,
and chances are when you get some of those materialistic things, like I've been listening to, like, Steve Bartlett, you'd know who he is, eh? Yeah. So, like, his book Happy Sexy Millionaire, it's probably one of the best books I've ever read. And he had these goals and things like that, and went off to get them, and he got them very early on, as a young man. And then he started to realise that that's not actually what happiness was, and he wasn't as fulfilled as what he thought he was. And that's his journey as well. And I'll probably get there, and I'll be the same too. But I want to use those platforms. Like, I can see that big house or the nice car, but, like, what I want to do is I want to use it as a platform so I can, like, take a kid to his formal, or just rock up out of the blue and have this nice car that the kid's just like, damn, and take him to his formal, or take him on his first date, or let other people enjoy those successes and say, I did this, I put something down on paper, I went for it, I backed myself regardless of what anyone else thought, and this is how it's happened. And I was thinking the other day too, it's like, I've been to school with a lot of great people and things, and I want everyone, whether I pissed you off or I didn't, I want people to know and think, this guy stood up, made a change, and try to create a legacy just helping people out. And, you know, like I say, not everyone's going to believe, but it would be cool to say that people said, you know, I went to school with that guy. That guy stood up and actually tried to change the world in his way, you know, rather than just being like, oh, it's all about me. Like, through gratitude, fuck, it's such a powerful thing. Like, people are just trying to bend over backwards for me because I'm doing the same for others. And it's just such a wonderful, wonderful thing. And, you know, I'd always take for myself. And, you know, I was okay with that at the time. And now it's just like, you know, by giving those little things away, like having that jersey and bits and pieces like that, that's nothing, you know, it might be a couple of $100. And it's not about those materialistic things. Like, those pieces of content to me is like, I got an opportunity to tell a kid to chase his dreams. Yeah, he got a jersey, but now that's something that hangs up, whether it's on his wall, that he wears it, that it's a reminder for him every single day to make sure that he chases his dreams. And that kid's going to remember that for the rest of his life. And also, like, a lot of people have said, oh, you know, you could do more for the homeless. And I know that there's other people obviously out there doing these random acts of kindness and things like that as well. And some people don't believe in, you know, putting it out there. But I've got a job to do. I've got a brand to build. I've got, you know, to show people how easy it is to change the game. And the only way to do that is to film it. Yeah. You know, show how uncomfortable I am doing it. And, like, another piece that I put up was, like, people are, it was about a guy's like, oh, I could, you know, use a new bed. And I was just like, on the spot, I was like, shit, you know, like, yeah, okay, well, you know, looking at my bed, it's, you know, reasonably expensive. There's no way, like, I can't get him like $200 bed. Like, he's going to have a worse sleep, you know, there. Yeah, so, you know, I got put on the spot and I was just like, oh, you know, he wanted to, a better sleep. It's like, have you got good pillows? And he's like, yeah, I do. And then he hit me with I could do with a bed. And I was like, damn. And, you know, I don't want to just share all the success stories. I want to show that raw, like, oh, shit, I'm on the spot here, you know, like, how do I get out of this? And through reflection, it could have been like, oh, have you ever tried meditation? But it's just that raw on the spot. And at the end of the day, I still tried. And you can impact somebody's life through communication. That's my opinion. That's how I see it. And just through that, he might have gone and thought, oh, someone stood up, you know, today and tried to make a difference in my life. He didn't convert, but, you know, I feel a little bit more at peace. And then he goes home and he has a better sleep. You know, that's how I see it. And, you know, I put myself out of my comfort zone. I grew from that experience. At the same time, it inspired other people. I think like 200,000 people have seen it. I don't know. It's got like 20 or 30,000 or something like that, you know, likes on it. So it might not be for everyone, but it's served the purpose for myself. It served the purpose for the other guy, and things like that. There's another cool one I did with these young fellas, and I ended up saying to them, I was like, what do you guys want? Shoot a shot. And it blew my mind, because I'm in a spot now, I ask for so much. I might not get everything I want, but you're entitled to ask and create opportunities for yourself. I'm still getting ghosted, but there's amazing things happening. And, you know, I said to them, yeah, what do you guys want? And I'm like, well, I don't know. So I had to pretty much tell them, what could I do for you? I was like, well, how about I just do 10 push-ups for you now?
I remember I've watched that one.
Yeah, and I did 9. You know, I can't count, but, you know, that might be the Kiwi thing. Can't count to 10, but that's all right. So, yeah, and I just did that, and I was just like, guys, you know, there's an opportunity there. You could have told me you wanted a coffee. You could have told me you wanted someone to talk to, but there was something in front of you. Someone was willing to help you, and you weren't willing to put yourself out of your comfort zone to say, this is a chance here. And I'm finding a lot more through this journey, like, instead of seeing, say I meet someone through work, or, you know, through the 9-to-5 hustle, there's always an opportunity for me to stand back and reflect, you know, outside of that initial relationship through work. Like, what is the purpose of this? Like, how can this impact me, you know, a lot more, and how can I impact that person a lot more, or whatever it is, and instead of, you know, taking that step back rather than just being like, this is what it is. And I'm still learning that. I'll reflect, and I'll come home and I'll be like, fuck, I missed the chop there, or, you know, there's an opportunity that was there for the taking, or you know, like, I've had a few different people reach out, and because I don't have things set on paper, and I'm just trying to articulate myself through conversation, like, there's opportunities that I'm probably missing too, but through that, I'm still learning that I can create them anyway. The next time I'll be stronger for it, because I've learned a lesson and thought, oh damn, I didn't do this quite right here. Let's take that out. Let's inject this in. Boom, there's your pitch for next time, and things like that. So, And that's why I just want to open up as much as I can. So if I could get it to a stage where I could have a videographer full time, that they could just pretty much follow me to tell the story of building the brand, to tell them the story of, meeting as many people as possible. And instead of being that controversial dude out there that's, I don't know, getting naked and running around or doing something just stupid to get that factor. I want to do it in a way to change people's lives and just tell the story of the guy that had a dream and just went for it. Yeah,
that's brilliant, man. I look forward to continuing following along. That's for sure. And for everyone who hasn't or doesn't follow along, check out Better Than Before on Instagram, TikTok. You're on what platforms are you on? You're on everything. I'm
on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. There is a Facebook group, or Facebook page as well, and I'm on Snapchat, but it's under my personal name. I haven't been using it as much. So the main ones are pretty much right now is TikTok. I've got a LinkedIn account. Haven't been using that as well.
Yep.
I've just been trying to focus on the ones that are kind of been working the best at the moment.
Yep.
Obviously, I want to be doing more longer length content so I can start chopping it down and putting it out onto different platforms and things like that as well. But the main ones at the moment will be TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, sick. And I've got one last question for you. And
sweet, brother.
I truly appreciate you coming on, and it's been, as I said, I get very inspired listening to the energy and the enthusiasm that you have behind it, and just what you're prepared, you're committed to doing it rather than just talking about it, which is the most important fucking thing. And I love that. But for yourself,
what's the saying goes, actions speak louder than words, And I used to think I'd speak a lot and my actions didn't reflect. And now, no one can tell me they're not. I'm telling everyone what I'm doing, and I'm doing it. And like I said, probably looks like a train wreck for some people, but slowly but surely that train will be on track, and she'll be flying at a few 100 miles an hour.
100%. What's it mean to be a man for you?
What does it mean to be a man for me? For me, it'll be this is a good question.
Mate, I stumped so many people with it.
I should have done my homework on this. What does it mean to be a man for me? To me, it means providing for your family or, your friends. And not everyone has that opportunity, which, is heartbreaking. But, to stand up, to be proud of who you are. Like, I guess this journey for me, I'm figuring out what a man really is. I feel like a fucking man right now, and I know, that's what I want to get across. And for my platform, I want to impact male and female. So yeah, to be a man is to stand on your own 2 feet, to set a standard, to every day move forward with your life. To make others around you proud of who you are, to make yourself proud. That's the biggest thing. Just if you look yourself in the mirror and every day you can say you're the best version of yourself, everyone else is going to, be impacted from that. But yeah, to be a man for me right now is just providing for my family, make sure everything's squared away. And then for me personally, it's, literally chasing my dreams right now.
So good, mate. So good. Thanks for sharing that. But mate,
probably makes no sense, but that's all right.
Well, I stumped so many people with it because we have this, there's a generic answer or a stereotype which a lot of men try to think, act and behave like, but obviously we're living in a world where a lot of blokes are, and people in general, are miserable and unhappy because we don't fit the cookie cutter mold of what society's been telling us to do or how to be, right? So I think it's cool hearing everyone's different and unique and individual perspectives, because there's someone out there, there might be 200 blokes who go, no, it's not me. But then there'll be, 10 that go, fuck yeah, that's exactly how I think. And that's what like the goal of that question is to make people realize that we are unique and it's okay to have our own understanding of it. It's fucking game on.
I guarantee everyone you ask that question has a different answer.
Mate, they do, 100%.
And that's just that's the thing. And like, more people need to realize, we're all different, and that's why I say, you're not going to please anyone, but there is going to be people that can align with who you are and what your values are and things like that as well. And that's exactly what this is based off, is who I am as a person. Like I say, I'm caring, compassionate. I want to do as much as I possibly can for as many people as I possibly can, and through that, I win at the end of the day, because it holds me accountable to be more, to do more.
Yeah, I love it, mate. I love it. And for everyone,
Feelings mutual.
I know we said you're all over the social medias, what's what's not the hashtags, or the hashtag's better than before, but where can we find you?
So it's under, so it's BETTR.then.before.
Yep.
If you type that in, that's on both platforms. But I think if you type in Better Than Before now as well, and look up accounts, if you see the butterfly, then you're heading in the right direction. And like I say, it's just about building an amazing community. Still, don't actually know what it is. There's no commercialization of it yet. It's something that I want to do because my time's valuable at the end of the day, and that's been a hard thing to quickly touch on it anyway. But it's been a hard thing to draw that line in the sand to realise that my time is valuable and that I should be able to get my little bit back at the same time. So
100%.
It's been a learning because people are reaching out and it's like I can only give them so much help, and it's 3 a.m. and I'm sending messages and it's like, man, you need to go to bed. You got to look after number one
yourself,
at the same time.
It's an exciting thing. Like what I now have is what I once wanted, right? And I sometimes find myself in that space where I'm like, oh, fuck, I wish people would just leave me alone for a minute, because my inbox every morning is just blowing up on emails, Facebook, Instagram, and you're just like, oh. But then you like stop for a moment and you're like, this is cool because this is what I really wanted. That the fact that people trust me enough and feel like they can reach out is cool. But yeah, like it's very hard to get back to everyone while you're still running a company and living your life. Like there's just, so you do.
It's so tough, and I can only imagine, because obviously you're probably, you're quite a way further ahead with your platform, and like I could only imagine, and like it's still, for me, it's going to be a hard journey to, I guess, like in my heart of hearts, I just want to help everyone, and I know it's going to get to a stage that I'm going to have to, I guess, look at how I can make more impact with the time that I've got, and that's why I just want to keep adding value. So it's like, okay, I might not have been able to get back to you, but the content is going to be based around how to help. So just keep watching it. You can take something out of that. But until that stage, I've replied every single person that's messaged me. I've replied to them or given them some time, and that's the biggest thing. I'm trying to build a community. So anyone that jumps on board, if their account isn't private, I'll message them. Or if it's private on Instagram, I'll still message them. And if it's on TikTok, like I was getting to a stage where I'd have 99 notifications, I'd get to the top, and then it would be back to 99, and I'm just like, how do I keep up? So I was just like, I'm just going to have to make sure I reply to comments, and just if they get onto Instagram, then I can send a voice message and things like that as well. So
that's epic.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn.
100%. Well, mate, appreciate your time. I know it's late over in New Zealand as well. But everyone, definitely go check out what Sam's doing with Better Than Before. It's really inspiring, and as I said, like even just this conversation for me has been really motivating, and I've got fired up to actually want to do a bit more work. But I'm going to go have some dinner instead, and then I'll go back to work.
Nice. Feed the beast. Feed the beast.
Feed the beast, bro.
Touching on that just quickly, sorry, but another thing I just want to say, like, thank you as well too, is that you be hard on yourself, and like a couple of things that I've picked up from you is that your body has changed. Like you put up that post the other day when you were just dice, bro, like looking, not to say you're not now, but it's like you're still comfortable, you're still in a really good spot. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. You don't need to be a Greek god and do all these other things. You can still be in a good space and be doing multiple things. And the one other thing that I took away is I was wanting to work on the communication in my relationship and things like that. And one of your podcasts I listened to, I went home straight away and started implementing that, like by putting the phone down and spending that 10 minutes with my partner and things like that. And it's changed the game. So just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You've literally impacted my life, and I can't wait to see how many more you impact.
Appreciate it, brother. I truly do, and it's going to be fun watching each other's journeys, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Better together and better than before.
100%.